Hi everyone, Erin here, and this is Finding Strength Through Self-Care, Coping During COVID-19. As a clinical social worker, I'm hoping to share tips and tools rooted in holistic self-care so that we can better support ourselves and others during this period of uncertainty and isolation. If you're new to my blog, I invite you to check out video number 1, Taking a Deep Breath, and the channel description above for some really important reminders and disclaimers related to intentionality, social consciousness, and mental health services. For many of us, we're living in states or even countries with mandated stay-at-home quarantine orders. This can bring on a lot of challenges and also some opportunities. Maybe we're a student who now has online remote learning. Maybe we're managing loss of employment, taking a leave of absence, or transitioning to working from home. If we're a parent, maybe we're losing our minds because all of our family members are at home with us and we have so many things on our plate. Regardless, this is a time of change. As humans, fortunately, we're very resilient beings, but that doesn't happen without some energy and some intention behind it. So today I'm hoping to share 6 tips to help us find and build balance within the structure of our workday. Now, workdays are going to look different for different people. As I just mentioned, we have different roles that we play in our lives. We might be working remotely, we might be searching for a new job, we might be helping our kids with their online learning, or managing our own online learning if we're a student. So just know that workday is meant to be an umbrella term that encompasses all those different tasks and projects that we might be taking on throughout the day. There are a ton of benefits to structure and flexibility when it comes to feeling positive and feeling productive. With structure, it helps us to feel organized. It promotes task completion and goal achievement, which allows us to feel confident and competent. It also helps us to feel empowered and more in control, which is particularly important when we're dealing with a crisis and a time marked by unpredictability and uncertainty and chaos. So it helps to have a little bit of structure that we feel like we can control and we can maintain. At the same time, flexibility is beneficial and crucial for our workday. It promotes creativity and problem-solving abilities. It's really important for self-awareness. It helps us to tune into our body and listen to what our body's telling us, which includes telling us when we need to take a break and rest, and letting go of that rigidity that can sometimes happen when we're so fixated on achieving a particular goal, and maybe we didn't set out and achieve those expectations that we originally had. So you can see that having both structure and flexibility are really important. So I'm hoping to share 6 tips that'll help us to balance these two and find them within harmony. Tip number 1 is starting a morning activity that matches your current energy level. So if you're someone who's feeling fatigued or groggy, maybe you're not a morning person, it can be really helpful to do an energizing activity. That might mean taking a walk around the block or doing some type of cardiovascular exercise if it's safe for you to do so. On the other hand, maybe we wake up with a lot of energy, but in a not so positive sense. Maybe we wake up with physical tension, feeling agitated, feeling distressed already first thing in the morning. In that case, we don't need a high energy activity. We actually want something more relaxing and more grounding. Meditation practice or even a brief yoga practice aimed at helping us relax the body and the mind can be really helpful. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Yoga with Adriene. She provides free yoga videos from 5 minutes in length to an hour in length, and I've been using her videos for over 4 years personally. Because I find her videos really accessible, I like to share them with friends and also with clients. So that might be one particular resource to check out if you're looking for a brief morning practice to engage in. Tip number 2 is maintain a morning routine. If you are someone who has a particular routine before going to class or going to work or starting your day, continue to do that routine. It helps get us in that frame of mind that we're going to be going into the workday. For me, that means I'm still going to brush my teeth, wash my face, and do my normal hygiene routine that I do any other day. Maybe it means making some coffee or some tea, or if you're someone who likes to shower in the morning, taking your shower even if you're just going to be staying at home. Tip number 3 is setting up a supportive physical workspace. This is sometimes a little bit easier said than done. We might want a fancy laptop stand or a nice office desk and chair, but we may not have access to that financially or otherwise. So sometimes we have to make do with what we have in our households. But there are small things we can do environmentally to support ourselves, and this is going to look different for everybody. We want to reflect on what kind of lighting, temperature, and noise level works best for us and adjust those accordingly. We want to think about the furniture we're sitting in and if it supports our body and our posture. We might want to think about including some soothing elements into our environment. If we have a favorite fragrance, maybe we can spritz it or we can light a candle. Maybe we use noise-canceling headphones to block out distractions or to listen to some calming or soothing music. Maybe we have a water bottle or some tea right next to us to make sure we're staying hydrated. So these are all just some ideas of how we can think about the physical workspace that we're operating in. Tip number 4 is create a list of tasks for the day. There's no magic number, but I tend to encourage people to maybe think of 3 tasks that they want to do that day. And if a task is particularly big, trying to break it down into smaller pieces so it feels more manageable. There's nothing worse than having this huge to-do list and the end of the day comes and you feel like you haven't done any of them. If you know how that feels, it's not great. We feel frustrated, we feel discouraged, we beat ourselves up about it. So to combat that, we can focus on a few things and break things into smaller pieces rather than multitasking on 15 or 20 items and not getting any of them done. This will help us to feel less overwhelmed and more focused. Tip number 5 is take lots of breaks. It's recommended that we take a break at a minimum after 2 hours of consistent work. This is going to look different for different people. And you know what? If you need a break every hour, take it and listen to your body. If we're experiencing chronic pain, high anxiety, or symptoms of ADHD, it might be really challenging for us to sit for 2 hours nonstop with our body and sustaining our attention for that period of time. That's where the flexibility here comes into play. I also have a really awesome handout I like to share with people. 50 ways to take a break. It's well circulated online. If you go on Google and type in 50 ways to take a break PDF, it'll come up right away. And I'll also include a link for this video as well. It has 50 colorful illustrations of different hobbies or relaxing activities that you can do or that you and the kiddos can do if you have a family. Just to take little breaks throughout the day. This doesn't have to be something big. It can be reading part of a chapter of a book. It can be going for a short walk. Maybe you start a puzzle over the weekend and you want to sit down for a few minutes and take a look at it, listening to some of your favorite music, or even looking at a funny cartoon or funny joke online. The idea is you're taking breaks and doing things that you enjoy throughout the day. We also want to take breaks to nourish and hydrate our bodies. The worst thing that happens is getting dehydrated and then having fatigue and headaches all day long. So it's really important that we listen to our body and meet its physical needs. Also, physical movement and stretching. It's recommended that every 30 minutes we try to get up and move. That might mean standing up if you're sitting down and doing some stretches in place, or if you have a little bit more time, maybe going outside and walking around your complex or walking around a block or two. So take breaks and do what works for you, and don't be afraid to take frequent breaks when needed. The next tip and final tip is set an end time for your workday and follow it. This has a lot to do with boundaries, which we'll talk about in a later video. Boundaries aren't just about our relationships with other people, they're also about our relationship with ourselves and with our work. So it's really important that we have a watch, a clock, a phone, something in the room that lets us pay attention to the time, both for taking breaks and also for the purpose of trying to end our workday, whatever project we're doing, and transition to something else. One thing that can help besides monitoring the time is actually having an end of the workday ritual that you do, a little tradition that you maintain, kind of like your morning routine. This can be something as simple as thinking of one thing that day that you feel proud of, or thinking of a couple things that you feel grateful for. This can be a really positive and grounding way to end our workday. So those are 6 tips that help us to better balance structure and flexibility while working during this really chaotic and crazy time that we're in with COVID-19. I hope that you find it helpful, and please feel free to share with others and with loved ones as well. I'm wishing you all wellness. Stay healthy, stay safe, and God willing, I'll see you next time.